Welcome back to the Wild Within podcast. I'm going to be doing a solo episode today. So let's get to it. If you've been here before, welcome back. If you haven't, I'm so excited that you're here. My name is Emily Rose. This is a thought space for wild and sensual women, and maybe for those curious about what that might mean for them. So yesterday, I was at this amazing business summit. Now, business events like this, I didn't even realize were a possibility for someone like me who's in the more spiritual, holistic, sacred, somatic, sensual space. So, number one, if you're listening to this and you're someone who, kind of identifies and aligns with that as a human being or from a business perspective, like look around and see where you can put yourself. And I'm here to remind you that yes, you do belong, because I know we're different, we're weird, we're witchy, we're introverted, we're sensitive to energy, but rooms where there's expansiveness happening only can make us all better, more connected, more clear on who we are, what we want to do, how we want to move through this life. So shout out to the Next Generation Network and Gabby, the sole creator of that community, who puts on these amazing events for people to be seen and heard and feel like they belong in a world that traditionally is run by men, is square and stuffy. And it was just such a beautiful day. And I was able to speak on stage. I've been working with actually Gabby since January, and in a public speaking program. If you know me, or if you know anything about this brand, if you put me on a beach with 50 of you, if we're doing a weekend long intensive, those are my comfort zones. You want me to teach you for 4 or 5 hours at a clip? I'm game. You put me on a stage in front of 100+ people that I don't know, ooh, that speaks to the nervous system in a different way. So, that's what I did yesterday. I went last after these amazing speakers, this beautiful day. And it was at a time where I'm thankful for the gifting that I have to read the room a bit. So I've been, typing up and re-editing and shrinking down to X amount of minutes this speech that I've been writing probably my whole life, honestly. At least this story is what feels present right now. And I kind of had a freak out moment in the middle of the day yesterday. And I'm so grateful for my other coach, Ati, who was there, who saw this happening. I was cool as a cucumber all day till about 3 p.m. I was supposed to go on around 3:45. I wound up talking at 5. But around 3 p.m., my spirit left the building. Pretty much that's what it felt like. So I went outside, I walked around, I did the things that I know nourish me, but I still was in that space. I think it really is a fine line between anticipation, anxiety, excitement, gratitude, and the fact that, well, first of all, I'm a reflector. So I'm one of the empathiest empaths you'll meet. And this big, beautiful facility with so much amazing, joyous, big energy was just starting to get to me a little bit. And Ati saw this happening, and we had a talk that I'll forever remember. And she asked me, well, what do you want from this speech? And I said to her, I want to get through it. I want to feel how this feels in my body. I want to know, I want to tell myself I can do this, because right now I'm telling myself I cannot do this. And she was like, well, then you can't, you got to speak. You can't speak from your mind, your brain. You got to speak from your heart. Because I essentially said to her, can you please tell me it's okay that I stand up there and I read and scroll through my phone and read, or sift through these papers and just read when I want to read? And she was like, Well, you could do that, you know, but what is the point for you right now? Why are you here, right? What is it that you want to share? You're someone who always helps people come back to the things that are important to them. So what is that for you? And, there was more to it than that, but essentially she just reminded me to come back and speak from my heart, which was pounding out of my chest, by the way. So I don't drink caffeine. But what I wanted to do today was actually go ahead and read this speech, because I also mentioned to a new friend who's an awesome powerhouse of a sales coach. And if you need somebody like that, please go follow the .ambitious.nutritionist, because Joe is just a powerhouse and I adore her. And so we were chatting before because she also shared an incredible speech, incredible story. And I had said to her, she's like, "How you feeling?" I'm like, "I'm going to read it." She's like, "Oh, you're going to read your speech?" I'm like, "Yeah, you know, this is an important story to me." And Gabby reminded me, like, maybe you need to just share the story and lay it to rest and move on with what's next. And so I was also like, had convinced myself I'm going to read the story. It's going to live there. And that's it. But I didn't. I didn't read the story. I didn't read the speech. I got up there. I spoke for about 12 minutes. I tried to come back to these key components of this story. And I will be sharing more of it. I got it professionally filmed and recorded, which was also an expansive move for me. But I'm saying this to say to you that we put expectations on ourselves all the time to show up perfect, to be polished, to know how you're going to feel, how you're going to act, what you're going to say. And yes, preparation is still something I'm figuring out as an embodied person, as someone who likes to, be in the moment and present. What does that actually look like for someone like me? Um, and yeah, so long story short, I want to take the time to share this speech with you. Because it's a good story. I think it will resonate with many of you. And I'm ready to share it in this way. So, if you're driving, do not close your eyes. But if you're able to, we're going to start. And I did start my speech like this yesterday. I start on my one-on-one sessions like this anytime I'm in a ceremony or at a retreat or at a class or at beginner experience at the studio. We always start with some breath, because as busy human beings, we sometimes need a reminder that it's okay to land fully where we are. All right. So if you're driving, keep them eyes open. If you're listening, see if you can stop what you're doing, pause the cleaning of the counter, stop folding the laundry, stop writing the email, and just take a moment to shut down your eyes. And see if you can unclench anything that's holding on. So maybe the space in your jaw, the space between your eyebrows, the tongue in your mouth, the shoulders up by your ears. And when you're ready, you're going to take a deep, full breath in. Inhale. And exhale, let it go. This time, you're going to make a little sound on that out breath. Inhale. Exhale, let it go. And then one more time, a little bigger, a little fuller. Inhale. Exhale, make all the weird sound. Give it a little shimmy, a little shake. Good. And if you're alone, I want you to just check in with how you're feeling right now. And if you happen to be in a room with someone like I was yesterday, what I cued was to turn to each other and share one thing that you're feeling in your body right now. And for me, it is wild how visibility and kind of the structure of what that is. So right now I'm literally sitting downstairs in our spare bedroom which is wild that I even have one of those in my robe. I haven't even showered yet. I'm still recovering from all the energy from yesterday in the best way. And I'm sitting in a primal squat, pretty much speaking into a microphone, staring at the window, right? Compared to what was present in front of me yesterday. So either way, check in with yourself and check in often. So yesterday, after those breaths, I asked everyone to check in, share with someone next to you that you know or may not know how you're feeling. And then I asked people to repeat, to share out loud how they were feeling. And this woman said, gratified. And I had her repeat it because it was just so juicy, the way she said it, the way it tingled in the body. And that's resonance, right? That's a huge part of the work that I do. So hopefully you find some resonance in this story today. I'm going to read it to you just like I would be on stage. So, hi, my name is Emily Rose. I am the founder and CEO of Thrive Embodied Arts and the Wild Within Academy. I am a somatic educator, a business and studio mentor, an artist, a witch, a fiance, a dog, cat, turtle, and goat mom, and a sensual embodiment enthusiast. I would probably also throw in that I'm a total movement nerd. So, my fellow movement nerds, I love you. I believe that the dancing adult is not only the child that survived, but the woman who thrives. Let me ask you something. Raise your hand if you have ever had one of these thoughts in your business or in your life. Can I keep going like this? Why isn't this working? Or my personal fave, what the fuck do I do next? Yeah, same. I want you to turn to the woman next to you, or maybe say it to yourself. I see you. I feel you. I know this shit is hard. Because it is. So many women are still trying to run their businesses like men, but we are not tiny men. We glorify hustle and burnout like they're badges of honor, but we're not built that way. Our bodies keep the score. We don't need to create from overwhelm. We don't need to do it all. And if you're listening and thinking, well, you don't know me, I have to do it all. Let me just say that I was you. I once ignored the very power that could have saved me. My sensuality, my sexual energy, my life force. This is one of the reasons why I created Thrive Embodied Arts, a sensual movement space and pole dancing coven in Northwest New Jersey. We opened in 2020. I signed my lease on March 1st. Go ahead and put yourself there. March 1st, 2020. Yep. Are we there? 2 weeks before the world shut down. I had no loans, no backup plan, just my life savings, a lease, and a dream. For the first year, it was just me, teaching every single class, cleaning the floors, running the Instagram, burning the candle at every end. But we grew fast. And today we serve over 150 vibrant members, offer 22 plus classes a week, and we have normalized multiple six-figure quarters after hitting six figures in our first fiscal year. Sounds amazing, right? Sounds like the dream. Except behind the scenes, I was dying. I couldn't stop working. I missed birthdays. I was slamming wine and cold dinners after midnight. I couldn't remember the last time I had an orgasm. I was empty. And then a day before Christmas, I had gifted myself a day off. So I scheduled nails, hair, massage. If you know me now, I'm growing out my gray, so I don't do hair or nails anymore. But you name it, nails, hair, massage. I think I even tried to book a tattoo appointment in the same day. And at stop one, when I sat down and put my hands down at the little nail counter, I just cried. And that was the first time I asked myself, can I keep going like this? But I did. I kept going until May of 2024. Revenue was down. Revenue was down 6 figures, might I add. Okay. And I was freaking out. And I was working even harder. I had completely abandoned myself. Completely. Take a moment to recognize if you've ever been there. Yeah. Let me share something vulnerable. I only have ever known one way to survive: hustle. That's what I learned from growing up with a single mom, an immigrant, grinding to get by. By 12, I was working. By college, I had 3 jobs and was a full-time athlete. And if you've ever bartended, you know the grind. Then this past March, I heard something at a summit that stopped me cold. We are our ancestors' wildest dreams. And then I thought of my grandmother, Rosie, who I'm named after. She came to this country with 1 suitcase and my mother. She literally sewed uniforms in concentration camps to survive. Survival, fear, and grit are in my DNA. And if you're here, if you're listening, they might be in yours too. But here's the truth. Just like trauma gets passed down, so does healing. We get to choose what we send 7 generations forward. So in May 2024, when I asked myself again, what the fuck do I do next? I didn't hustle harder. I didn't burn it down, even though it was very tempting. I didn't drop thousands of dollars on marketing, which sometimes you have to do. Guess what I did? I took a fucking break. A break. Do you want to guess for how long I took a break? Not a long weekend, not a couple days in the middle of the week. An entire month. And not to fix my business, but to heal my relationship with productivity. To stop tying my self-worth to how full my calendar was. To reconnect with myself. I danced. I moved for pleasure. I gardened topless. I cried. I created. I remembered joy. Joy, by the way, is the most vulnerable of emotions, but that's a TED Talk for another day. But most importantly, I stopped treating my body like a machine. Because this body, your body, she speaks in sensation, not in words. And when we ignore her, she still finds a way to speak louder, messier, harder. And that's what I see every day at Thrive. Women healing from trauma, reclaiming worth, coming home to themselves. How many of you have said yes when it was really a hell no? I'm going to ask you again. How many of you have said yes to anything when it was really a hell no? Yeah, that catches up. And I could talk to you all day about this. But I have learned these 3 things and I want to share them with you. So go ahead and write them down. Again, if you're driving, don't write them down. Maybe take a pause on this podcast and come back to it. But if you are able to, write these down. Number 1, Every time you override your truth, you silence your own wisdom. Number 2, we already have everything we need inside of us, but it takes space, stillness, and sovereignty to hear it. And my fave, number 3, overwhelm and stress are just bullies of trust. And sometimes, if not often, we do that shit to ourselves. I was able to take that month off because I had built deep trust within myself and with my team. And that trust, it's not in a book, it's not in a strategy, it's in you, in your sensual, feeling alive, amazing body. So, what's different now? Everything. I lead a powerhouse team of 12. I opened an online embodiment school, as you know, the Wild Within Academy, in which we, do international retreats and working on a teacher training and grow leadership from within. Our community is thriving, but more importantly, so am I. Because I no longer ask, how do I do it all? My answer is, I don't. Success to me isn't how much I make or how crammed my schedule is anymore. It's how safe I feel in my body and how expansive others feel in my presence. Imagine that. Imagine if we rewired success to be not about revenue and numbers. And I'm here for that conversation. I love that. There's also nothing I love more than seeing women make money that is fulfilling and heart-centered and easeful. I love that shit. But just imagine if success wasn't how crammed your schedule was anymore, but how safe you felt in your body. And in that safety, in that sovereignty, in that sensual body, how expansive others felt in your presence. So let me leave you with this. The reason women have been so systematically disconnected from our bodies, from our sensuality, and from our power is because when we reclaim it, we become unstoppable. We become magnetic. We become fulfilled from the inside out. We live fully in our ability to slow down, to take sacred pauses, to breathe, to feel, and to heal. And when a woman comes home to her body, she becomes a sanctuary for others to do the same. Take a moment, let it all land. A couple of breaths, a couple of beats, a sacred pause, whatever you need. Your body will tell you. She's so wise and she loves you. And that's what I'm here to do, to remind women how to come home to themselves, how to remember who they are, how to unlock and dive in and descend into the depths of who they are too. So if you listen this far, I'd love to hear from you. Let me know how this landed, especially if you're someone I didn't get to chat with at the summit yesterday. I'm so grateful that I spoke from my heart. I'm also so grateful that I decided to get up today and just give this body of work a place to live. The story is important to me. We get fed so many things, how we're supposed to look, how we're supposed to show up, how we're supposed to speak, how we're supposed to act. And at the end of the day, how fulfilling could it be to just be us, to just be, to live fully in our bodies and our hearts. And if you're a business owner like me, make the money that we want that allows us to live the life we want. Maybe it's not about worth, but it's about how we value things, right? How we value the life we want to lead and live and share. And what we'll leave behind when we're no longer here too. Again, another TED Talk for another day. But shoot me a message. Let me know if you listen to this. Let me know what you think. And I look forward to so much. There's a lot of beautiful things being birthed in my world right now, between writing a book and Wild Within teacher training. I'm working on the format of the business coven because I think I want it to be more like a spiritual networking, hub for people like me and probably people like you to come and connect. So I'd love to hear from you. Yeah, that's it. Have a great day. Until next time, bye.